Chapter 28 Wisdom Vision. The Divine Mother's fortress overflowed with wonder and awe. Impenetrable walls surrounded the interior castle, which seemed to house the jewel of eternity. This fortress was not crafted by material stone. It was built on timeless spiritual wisdom, which made all aspects of its foundation unsurpassable. Imagine it like a castle in the center of the sun. Anyone who got close enough would burn, and without protection, illumination, or purification, the layers that were not ready to enter would be destroyed in the process.
"You seem curious about the formless,"
said the Divine Mother. Of course. How should we make sense of time and timelessness? The seen and the unseen, the visible and the invisible. How can our minds even comprehend this place when I was born in the world?
"I give all beings free will, but there are only two real choices. Either surrender everything to God upon the path to fruition, or chase your wildest dreams and pursue your individual desires on the path into the illusion. Both are paths, and you will gain experience either way. But after your soul chooses the illusion enough times, the soul yearns to come home when you make a commitment to the journey deeper to find this place. In time, all souls will walk through the door that leads to fruition. And in this moment, you alone were willing to give up what I had once given to you. And in the spirit of selflessness, you offered your heart and soul as entry through. This stronghold is inaccessible to the physical world, and anyone who clings to material existence will miss the gateway into my fortress,"
she said. Her refuge was more grand than my mind could imagine, and far more complex or intricate than a physical building. The only way to enter was to surrender.
"Upon the path to fruition, everything that unfolds next will quicken. Do not be dejected when you are called back into the material world. From this moment on, you behold the sight of the truest vision. This is my gift, like a pair of magic sunglasses. And so what you have found is what the sages call divine wisdom. Know that this wisdom is much different from limited human knowledge or learned intellect. You now have the ability to use spiritual insight and bring the unknowable into the material world through the process of fruition. Some call such work magic or miracles. Others may call it luck or chance. Yet by entering into my fortress, you have a connection and vision into the entire universe,"
she said. She reached down and took Clancy's head from my hands.
"Time for my other son to get a new spiritual body,"
she said. Before we could even wonder what she all meant, Clancy's head was passed along to divine guardians, and off he went. Alone with the Divine Mother, she held my hand and led me deeper into the interior castle. Words were of little use, since each thought vibrated out loud. With a hole in my chest and the heart wide open, there was nothing to cover my love for her as it all poured out. Imagine a cloud trying to hold in the rain. At a certain point, it all comes out. Before I could even ask a question, she revealed the answers out loud. What does it mean to be humble? I wondered.
"To be full of yourself and be aware of it. To be completely outlandish and not try to get rid of it. To be responsible for your emotions. Be responsible for your self-centeredness. And then there is a possibility of some kind of humbleness and humility. That's when you really see you cannot not be a fool. You cannot suddenly not be full of yourself. The humility will come out of seeing the illusion of separation, seeing the illusion that you're not the most important person who's ever been around,
she said. And I wondered how she was so brave.
Brave are the souls who enter into fruition, for the path to find this place is a treacherous mission. You will need to offer away everything, and if you don't give it up, in time it will be taken. Most people have no desire to attain true wisdom because of what they fear to give up, and so many get lost trying to hold on to all the material stuff as they continue in the revolving doorway of the illusion,
she said. There she led us to the highest peak of the fortress, where we gazed out the premier window and saw a maze that waited after the so-called doorway into the illusion. Yes, this was a maze, not a labyrinth, and this maze was never-ending, which she called samsara, or Mahamaya. Here we watched souls chase power, fame, money, popularity, status, and material things as they dedicated their life to individual ambition, but so few of them had pure spiritual vision. The mother would send signs to guide them out of the maze of material clinging, but so many people were distracted by their own selfish interests as they remained on the surface of the maze instead of listening to her intuitive guidance. These people repeated the same patterns as they journeyed on their individual mission, but when it came to the doorway called Fruition, this was a true labyrinth with a real ending that led out of it. And only after the soul surrenders everything can the spirit journey through it.
Notice how many are self-interested. People want to achieve it for themselves, by themselves, and build their own wealth. But how come it's so uncommon for someone to offer their gifts up to the collective? More than ever, spirituality is being turned into a business. Why is it so infrequent for someone to enter into the doorway of fruition?
She asked. As we gazed off into infinity, we could see everyone and everything. The people of Earth were busy trying to achieve something distant, but from up here, life on Earth was an illusion and a dream. 1 minute, a person might even touch their goal, or invest in the right stock and make a bunch of money. But in that maze, they were bound by time, and so few of them understood the real purpose of our creation, because in time, we'd have to give everything back eventually. All those people worked so hard to make a living, but I sensed they would cling to their own attachments, not wanting to let go of it. This was the truth of the illusory world. The dream of wanting more seemed so real, but the impermanence of material life was fleeting. So beyond this, what was life's true meaning?
You have been given spiritual vision, but go deeper and listen. Can you hear what the people in the illusion are thinking?
She asked. Seeing people in their self-centered moods meant that they were separate and not free. Whether they found themselves at the world's greatest resort, the most beautiful beaches, or the poorest cities, so much of their energy vibrated out into the universe as their inner intention stated, "It's all about me." Are they afraid? Why do so few move forward on the path to fruition?
All of us feel fear. But then who is it that listens to the real wisdom? I give all beings grace and compassion, but I too wonder, why do they prefer the illusion? My heart feels such sympathy and compassion, as I will always be rooting for them. But all it takes is one soul to find the courage to enter into the labyrinth of fruition. Then from there, the entire world can begin changing,
she said. What is willpower? Do all of us have some sort of free will? What are we supposed to do with this will?
How about I show you,
said the Divine Mother. As if the real world had been reduced to a globe upon someone's desk, she rotated the earth in a circle upon one central axis. As if the illusion was a giant program, she could see through everything. There her fingers began to zoom in from her intuitive vision. The world had grown so chaotic and crazy, but still there was a glimmer of inner light. If the earth was on the verge of being overcome by darkness, I saw there were real light keepers who stepped up and shined with their holy brilliance. There I saw Clancy in a new body who had gone off in search of his great friend Stitches. And what could have taken months on this journey appeared to happen in a matter of seconds, thanks to the Divine Mother's vision. There him and Stitches were reunited, and in the material illusion, Stitches used his ambition and power to reach the peak of the secret ancient pyramid. Together him and Clancy began to take control of that ancient alien technology in an effort to benefit all beings. Thanks to Clancy's mind, they found a way to use divine power to adjust the reality of the material world. Together they were two souls who refused to give up, but as they tried to control and manipulate the earth, it only seemed to cause more chaos and confusion throughout the world. Clancy had entered the space of divine vision, but how does honor navigate progress in the maze of the illusion? As the world spun, so I discovered the power of free will when I noticed they began to manipulate the power in the world as they sat atop the highest point on what could be thought of as the material tower of existence. Now I could hear what was happening, as if their voices were held in an unspoken argument. Even though I was unsure if any of this was said out loud, their vibrations started a discussion between them. And so Clancy spoke. How could you persuade the people to elect the deceiver as a leader and president? Look at the other candidates. There was no one else to choose from. Trying to manage this ancient technology is like trying to operate a starship. The faster you go, the faster it comes at you. I'm just trying to help make the world better for everyone, said Stitches. But look what we're doing. Are we really going to let the deceiver take over? What the hell are we doing, trying to manipulate the world's power structure? Asked Clancy. This is chess, not checkers. We're taking it one move at a time. And in a couple years, we're going to move on from all of this. The last system was built on bribes, and the old way of the deep state was going to destroy us. From now on, we're moving into a new dimension, said Stitches. But everyone is still trapped in the material illusion, said Clancy. Their views were very different, yet united at the same time. One was rooted in the honor of the material world, while the other's mind was tied into the liberty of the divine. What about the consequences from all this power? The real objective is to lead the people into higher portals of consciousness. Clancy paused. But you're right. This technology is like riding on a rocket, and fucking hell, it's pretty intense for two people to manage. Look out! The algorithm is trying to convince the people to murder an entire country. Reprogram it so they just consume more sports and entertainment, said Stitches. Ayo, I'm on it, and I'll feed their wives more TV and shows that objectify reality. If we don't move this massive transformational energy to the right pockets of consciousness, then the whole world might explode, said Clancy. Then what do we do? It's too much power for just us. Maybe we should create a new program for this ancient technology and route it into artificial intelligence, said Stitches. But if we tie it into AI, then a robot will take control of the world. Before long, it'll start targeting all humans, where it will rule the media and overtake future elections. Once it changes our elections, it'll draft new laws based on computer intelligence that may not be real. Then the whole world would be under the direction of the artificial. If we do that, then our species could be doomed. Oh, we've got to imagine. What would the Buddha do? Said Clancy. The more it went on, they tried to harness and control something as powerful as lightning. By manipulating human consciousness, I realized that the human willpower could not dominate divinity. But the more they tried to alter any situation, the consequences became even more frightening. It was too crazy to try and harness control over the world based on their own individual views. Instead of building a new, perfect world, they were simply trying to break old systems in the hopes we could create new patterns. What if you took control? Then what would happen? I asked the goddess. It was silent while I watched them try to make sense of the ancient alien power. Of course, Stitches and Clancy were trying to do good for the world, but the pinnacle of the material tower was still beneath the divine world. What started as a search for treasure led them to the peak of our human potential, and with Clancy's vision into divinity, knowingly or unknowingly, their discovery connected them into a thread of the Godhead. Then paired with honor, Stitches held their aim through integrity. But what about the paths of spirituality?
The more they try to control, the more they will destroy. And yet they've already taken it so far, and that deceiver they brought into power came from Stitch's personal viewpoints. Today, a part of the world has come to rejoice, but wait until you see what happens,
she said. But we can't let that happen. As I gazed down, Stitches and Clancy tried to manage the ancient pyramid's vibration, and that vibration affected anyone else in the vicinity of it. By having Magi in the peak of the pyramid, it sent their own personal vibrations out into the worldly surroundings. Even though the technology was grounded, from the moment Clancy and Stitches entered within it, I saw that depending on a Magi's state of being, they could change the vibration of the ancient technology and the energy which is emitted from it. Is the challenge to harness the vibration to some specific frequency?
Or is our purpose to align our own vibration to that of the divine? Then we would emanate the divine reality for all of humanity. That is the brilliance and the great secret of the ancient pyramids and the alien technology. But long ago, human ignorance conquered the pyramids and destroyed the wisdom of the pure teachings, she said.
What is the way for the divine frequency to resonate? How can we tune the technology of the ancient pyramid so that all beings will benefit?
Fruition,
she winked. But I don't understand. There are demon heads that cover the earth, and Stitches and Clancy aren't to blame. They are only trying to help, because if no one else stepped up, then who knows what would have happened?
I know, but this is all part of a great process, even though it seems maddening,
she said. So why would they lead the deceiver into power? His ego is out of control. And now the deceiver thinks of himself as a king, as he believes he is in charge of the entire world.
Yes, they are setting out on a path to destroy the entire civilization,
she said. Destroy the civilization? But how could you let that happen?
The world is ruled by wicked men who try to dominate the system. Oh, how will our world make amends? Realize that not one of us is more divine than any other. Our divine parents are equal in their affection for all living beings, and my naughty children are no lesser children. Their souls may just be 2 years old, compared to someone who is 12, 30, or 88. And when someone's soul is young, you teach them appropriately, knowing that they will grow up, but they have to go through the proper cycles. I'm aware that some people in the world are behaving very badly. Instead of being angry with them, I feel very sorry for them. There's going to be a lot of karma for them to pay back, and it isn't going to be fun. So as the Divine Mother, I have allowed some really rowdy children to come and take birth to inhabit the planet. because they are in the process of destroying their own illusions. So they're here to help do it, and they came on purpose, sent by me.
She paused.
And on the other hand, I have also brought divine seeds, as I've planted them into reality, to rebuild a new way of life, so that these sparks of divinity will guide humanity.
But then why would you do this to us? What about those of us who live with compassion, kindness, and love?
Then you and your friends have come to lay the foundation of our new civilization. It's our duty, and it's going to help the world. I brought you here to help create that new reality,
she said. Mother, divine goddess, but do you understand our world's hardship? We live in a world dominated by greed, and the world leaders worship money and take far more than they need. I feel so bad for humanity. But what about the plants and animals? What has happened to our natural world? The world leaders build more skyscrapers, resorts, and condos, but they're destroying the wild homes that support our world's animals.
That is why the old way must be destroyed, so that a new way of life can be enjoyed. I'm sure it feels as if everything is going against you. But just wait. Soon you'll see how the arrogance of our world leaders is paving the way for their own self-importance to be destroyed. They think of themselves as kings, and they believe that they know it all. And although they think they are on top of the world, just wait a little longer and we'll watch them fall,
she said. But then why is the world falling apart?
The reason the world is falling apart is so that we can discover where our true happiness lives. The illusion is collapsing so that my bravest souls can bring forth our great spiritual awakening. That way, you and the others will lead many people forward on the path to fruition. Do you remember your work inside the algorithm? You know how the current civilization creates computer programs which spreads propaganda to divide us with lies. Notice how such actions propel the movement of a pendulum. As people seek control with their individual motives, the pendulum swings from side to side. This motion isn't right or wrong, but rather, this fluctuation is the motion of life. Right now, the leaders of our world have souls like 2-year-olds as they try to dominate everyone else who is alive. For the time being, Mother has left them alone to play. But what happens when I resurface? She said.
What then?
We will face them as you drive my chariot.
She paused.
I'm aware of how they consume so much with greed, far more than one being could need. And as the algorithm has expressed, the human world has poisoned more than its own species. The virtual world is a reflection of what I already know, and it captures all the crimes and atrocities committed. Before long, the great pendulum will swing so hard that it'll break right off the hinges.
And then what happens?
You and my other wise children will stand tall and take your place in accordance with divinity and pave the way forward. Even as it seems the algorithm might be on its way to overtake humanity, you will guide others to live in union with the land, and there the spiritual source will prove wiser than technology. You, and those souls like you, are called to lead humanity. Fear nothing. Everything is happening perfectly,
she said. But how can you explain what is happening to all of the world's societies? Each day my heart sinks, knowing the world is being led by the most arrogant leaders who are ruled by egoism and greed.
The less talent they have, the more pride, vanity, and arrogance they embody. All of these fools find fools to applaud them,
she said. So then what they are doing will come back to haunt them?
When naughty children grow up, they will only face more severe punishments and consequences,
she said. But how come you are not afraid?
Because I gave birth to the material world. and so I know how nothing stays the same. Everything in the illusion is temporary. Everything changes,
she said. But death, what should I make of it? When I see suffering in the world, I grow ever worried about each being's last breath.
Today you wear clothes. Tomorrow you will wear something else. That is how death is. One life you wear this skin, and then you will change again for the next. Men and women of the material illusion may try to rule the world, but when will my children wake up and learn? Use your time on earth wisely, and dedicate your action to the evolution of our soul. God cares most for what you have given to others, not for what you have earned alone,
she said. I sense a certain intensity, as if things are only going to speed up faster. What advice can you give us so that I can share with others?
Do not sell your soul for anything. It's the only thing you've brought into this world, and the only thing you take back. The only person you have to please is the Divine Mother and Father. So remember, there is nothing that your soul lacks, she said.
She led me down from the pinnacle of her fortress to the very bottom of it all. This was lower than we had gone before, and so it made me wonder. Each step downward, I felt hyper-aware, and as she sensed my vibration, she'd turn back, look over her shoulder, and smile. Lower and lower, I hadn't a clue where she wanted to guide my soul after all this while. Divine Mother, where are you leading me?
I'll share a quote from Saint Teresa. See the little flower? She became such a big saint because she did the ordinary things with extraordinary love. You see, my greatest trees have the deepest roots, she whispered.
But there at the end of the deepest tunnel, we came face to face with an abyss that was pitch black. Then the Mother's protectors came on each side of me and began to pull my old layers off. They uncovered me completely until all that was left was that which lived within. There at my core was the heart and soul that had been covered, which now appeared as a luminous essence.
Know that you will always have a guardian on your left, a guardian on your right, a guide in your center, and an angel looking over,
she said. When I turned around again, I saw Nandi the yak and the serpent named Kundalini, along with the spirit of Shruti, for they were here within me. Do you know the way? I asked them.
Of course I do. It is you,
paused Shruti.
Lead us, and we will protect you.
I looked back to the Divine Mother. But Mother, do I have to go?
I am your body. I am your soul. I am your mind, and I am your mother and father. Together, we create the whole world. Wherever you go, I will not be apart. I am within your soul, as I am the light within all hearts,
she said. At once, the soul began to glow brighter than ever before, all from what was once a tiny spark. This light illuminated the entire passage ahead.
In the end, you'll finish in a place of dignity. Go forth with courage and love, and spread your light out to humanity,
said the Divine Mother.